Welcome back to another video of JDH Aquatics, where we try to do anything aquariums related in my apartment while I'm in college. So this kind of goes in line with what we're going to be talking about today. As a college student, I don't have a lot of money, so when it comes to these setups and maintaining these builds, I have to look for a lot of budget equipment and things on sale and used parts. When it comes to companies like Kessel, Ecotech, Aqua Illumination, we all strive to go for those higher companies because those are like the top-notch brands, right? Those are the lights and the pumps that we see on all the tanks that are growing crazy SPS, and they just look awesome. But I want you to take a step back from doing the research on all those high-tech companies and trying to figure out, how many XR15s you need to put over your 40-gallon breeder. In today's video, I kind of want to go over a few pieces of equipment that don't break the bank. These are going to be really budget parts for your setups, and they still work and they're still quality parts. So stick with me. We're going to go over 3 different, pieces of equipment slash things that you're going to need for your aquarium that aren't going to break the bank. And by absolutely no means am I trying to poop on those other brands like Kessel and Aqua Illumination. They're great companies. They're just expensive, so these are just suggestions. If you don't want to spend a ton of money, you don't have to. So the first topic we're going to be talking about is lighting. This is by far one of the biggest topics when it comes to the aquarium hobby, especially saltwater and keeping coral. Now, over time with the aquariums that I've had, I've always kept LEDs, but with one tank in particular, I've only had a name brand, quote unquote, light over that tank, which was a Kessel A360X, and it did great. However, you don't necessarily need that expensive of a light over your aquarium. So let me explain. I've got a couple Aquanites over my tank right now. Now these are Amazon LEDs that you can pick up online, and they're about $70, $80 a piece. When I picked them up, they were about $60 to $62, I believe, so they were even cheaper, but now they're about $70 to $80 a piece. They run at about 30 watts each, so they're not the most intense light. However, they are good supplemental lighting, which is what I'm using for my tank right now. The main light in the middle is a Newsight K7 Pro V3. It is 140 watts, I believe, so that's the main source of lighting that we have over the tank. But even that light is also not that expensive. So with the Aquanites, like I said, they were about $70 to $80 a piece. Both of those together, we're looking at about $150 or so. With the K7 Pro, it is around $200. So with lighting, again, you don't need to jump into the very deep end of going with the most expensive light. I would try to say start out with maybe something in the intermediate to beginner level with LEDs, especially if your corals don't demand that high of light. Now I understand if you're running a mature SPS dominated tank, you need lights that are going to have a very high output. But if you're running a beginner tank with softies, LPS, or it's just a simple mixed reef, you can get away with some of these Amazon LED light fixtures that don't cost a lot and they don't output a ton of power. Now, all in all, I've got about $350 worth of lighting over this aquarium, whereas if I went to go and get a name brand light like another Kessel A360X or even a more expensive light like the Kessel AP9X, I'd be looking anywhere between $600 to $900 for a single light fixture, whereas I'm spending half the money and I've got 3 separate light fixtures over this aquarium. There's a couple reasons I like that. One, because redundancy. I don't have one light fixture that could fail on me, whereas I have 3, so I've got 3 different lights over the tank, as well as I've got a bunch of coverage over the tank as well. So if I had one 360X light fixture, which is a single puck, I understand the spread on these lights and the technology and the lenses is quite impressive. However, the light coverage versus one puck against the 8 pucks that I have over the tank, it's just kind of hard to beat. Now, I really want to make an emphasis that this is more so geared towards enthusiasts that are beginning in the hobby, or they have coral that are a little bit more intermediate. So, I have not done any par levels with these lights, so I don't know what the par is in the aquarium. I can only tell you that I've seen good coloration and decent growth with the lights that I'm using. I do need to get a par meter so I can measure the par and have a better understanding of what it is. So if you are looking to do, like I said, a deeper SPS dominated tank, I can understand and see why you would need a higher level output Kessel or Aqua Illumination or something like that. But if you're doing a softy dominated tank and a nano tank, then I think an Amazon LED is fine. Now, if you're like, Jordan, what about controllability? What about reliability? My Kessel has an app. What about all that? Well, I've got a couple rebuttals for you as well. With the Aquanites, unfortunately, you can't control them with an app. There's only 2 buttons on the top, and that's about it. However, the reliability on these lights has been incredible. I've used the Aquanites for about 2.5 years now, and have not had a single failure in any of my fixtures. I've had about 4 different units. Collectively, none of them have failed. It's just over the time I've used them on different tanks, and they've done beautifully. So the Aquanite's reliability is good, however the controllability is not really there. With the new Sight K7, however, this is a great light with controllability because it does come with its own app. So in the app, you're able to control time settings, you're able to do ramping, different intensities on different color channels. So the app is really user-friendly in that sense. And you are able to change the light on the fly. So that's really nice about the K7. Unfortunately, with the Aquanites, like I said, you can't change it through an app. The reliability on the K7 I can't speak too much on right now. However, I've had the light on for about 2 months, and I can see a lot different coloration and growth in the corals. Now, I know that's not speaking in terms of reliability because I haven't had the light long enough. However, the light's done well in the 2 months that I've had it. So that's pretty much all I can speak on it so far. Now, jumping away from the lighting, I know we've talked a lot about that. Another very important piece or part of your aquarium is the internal flow. So the circulation of the water that goes on inside the tank, and those are typically produced by Powerheads and wave makers inside the aquarium. So again, a lot of people shoot towards the Aqua Illumination Narrow 3s or the Vortec MP series. Those are very, very good pumps. However, they're very, very expensive. A Narrow 3, I think, from Aqua Illumination is somewhere in the ballpark of $150, I want to say. Whereas the SLW10 in my reef tank, I think, was like $50. So it's about a third of the price. However, it still comes with a controller. In terms of reliability for the J-Bow SLW10s, I've had these running for about a year in a separate tank, and they've been doing fantastic. So I've had no issues with the SLW10s, and I am currently running the SCP-70 gyre wave maker. So that's been running for about 2 months. Again, no issues with that as well. It's been producing great flow in the tank. All 3 pumps have been doing good in unison. I've got the SLW10s at a wave mode at about half intensity, and then the SCP wave maker gyre is also at a wave motion, but it's literally at the first notch. So it's not even full intensity. It's actually at the first notch, and it's producing a ton of motion. So really good on the SCP wave maker. I could probably honestly run just that pump in the tank and turn it up a little bit and take out my SLW10s, but I do like having a lot of random flow in the tank, so we're just gonna leave them in there for now. The gyre pump, I believe, was $100 versus another gyre pump with the same GPH, I believe, is somewhere around $300. So you're saving a fraction of the money there. With the SLW10s, you're saving a fraction of the money there for a puck style power head. But yeah, I've got these 3 pumps in the tank right now. They're doing a great job pushing water in about 32 inches of this aquarium. And yeah, I couldn't be happier with my Powerhead setup. So the last thing that I have for you guys actually isn't even a piece of equipment. Wow, that's really hard to say. A piece of equipment. It is the lid that I have for the tank. And I try not to film with it on because it's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing, but I have it down here. So it's egg crate. This is what I use for my aquarium lid, and I will throw up a photo so you guys can see what the stock lid costs for a Fiji Cube 38-gallon Peninsula. It's freaking ridiculous. This tank with shipping and taxes, I think, came out to like $450, maybe $500. The lid for this tank is $170, which is like a third of the price of the full tank itself. So it doesn't even really make any sense how expensive the lid is. What I did for a budget lid is I bought some egg crate from Home Depot. You can get a piece that's about 4x8 for like 25 bucks. It might even be cheaper than that. It might be like $18 or something like that. And yes, I know it's white. They do sell black egg crate, but it's typically at plastics stores, so plastic specific stores. But Home Depot had white, so I just got white. It's really easy to cut. It's really lightweight, and of course it's really cheap. So it's a good option for a lid. I just throw it right on top of the rim on the tank, and it sits on there, keeps the fish inside. It doesn't really cut back on any evaporation, but it keeps the fish in, which is the main reason, and then it disperses the light a little bit. So this is technically a light diffuser. That's what egg crate is, but we're using it as a lid. So I use that on the 38, and I also use it on the 10, but like I said, we're filming right now, so they're not on the tanks. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. There's not many updates on the aquariums themselves. Like I said, I'm still holding out to put another anemone inside the tank. However, I did research and learn something new about anemones through Tidal Gardens, I believe it was their YouTube channel, that you're not supposed to put in different colorways. You're not supposed to mix different colorways of anemones, which I didn't know. Which, if you guys know any more about that, let me know in the comments down below. But I was planning on adding like a sunburst or some sort of red or orange bubble tip anemone into this tank with the green one that I already have. But since I already have the green one, I might not be able to mix the different colors. So if we do get another anemone, it might just be another green one. Everything's rocking, everything's doing good. Be sure to check out my Instagram and go drop a follow, JDH Aquatics. With all that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.